Hey guys, wanted to make a quick video, hopefully to help someone out on how to replace the crystal on a vintage Seiko 7546, and then I have 6040 model. I didn't start doing it right away because I thought it was going to be pretty straightforward, but this one's a little bit more complicated and I think might help some other folks out. So I actually ended up cracking my crystal in the process and also cracking the replacement in the process. So I had to order a new one. Then I should have kind of maybe taken my time and first understood how it works. But here's in theory how it works. So there was a compression ring, and then there's kind of a second type of compression ring, and then the gasket's inside. So at first I thought that this was all just part of the gasket, but really how the crystal goes, so when you pop the watch out, everything kind of goes like this, etc. So what you have to do is actually, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but you have to pop out this center compression ring, not the crystal. So the mistake I made is that when I was, when I had this upside down, pushing, I pushed on the crystal thinking it'll pop the crystal out, but it didn't, because the crystal goes from the bottom. So let me see if I can kind of make this make sense. So pretend that this is the new crystal and this compression ring sits like this. So it actually goes, the crystal goes in from the bottom, and you can see it goes in without any pressure. And then you insert this kind of, I don't know what you call this, like a secondary gasket of some sorts in here, and that's what holds the crystal inside this compression ring. And then once you have that all assembled, then you push this back into the watch. So once I get the replacement crystal, I'll demonstrate that. But if you have one of these old Seikos and you want to do a crystal replacement, just keep in mind that you really have to first pop out this compression ring assembly that houses the crystal, and then the crystal pops out from the bottom. So then it's a little tricky because you don't have a whole lot of edge to work here with, but that's just how you do it. So once I get my replacement crystal, I'll do a quick video of putting it together, and then maybe then it'll make a little bit more sense how to take it apart. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hey guys, so today we're gonna finish the assembly of my Seiko watch. So got a new crystal to replace the one that I had cracked because it didn't quite understand how to remove the crystal, so we're gonna do that today. So this is kind of a, I would say, not the norm for crystals because they have this little compression ring. Usually they just pop out, but I should have been more careful and I wasn't. So I actually ended up getting a sapphire crystal instead. So we're gonna go ahead and put the sapphire in. So first you can kind of see there's the gasket inside there already. So we're gonna put this in from the back. I'm just using a cloth to avoid getting fingerprints on it. Okay. So once you kind of seat it through the back, this is where this compression ring then goes on. And this is the part where it's a little tricky. I gotta do it on a hard surface. It doesn't look like I've got the crystal in all the way. Let's push the crystal in a little bit more. So gotta be careful because these crystals are very thin. Unlike like a diver watch, it's a nice beefy size where cracking it is usually not a concern. Alright, I don't think it went in right. Let's try this again. Hope it's the right size. The only difference between this one and the stock one is the stock one had a bevel on top. Kind of see it right there, had a little bit of bevel. Couldn't find one like that exactly, but I thought maybe it wouldn't be an issue, but it's turning out maybe it might be. Try it the other way. Should that make a difference? About like that. I'm just pushing it on a hard table off camera here to see if I could get this to work. Nope, no cigar. Alright, screw getting fingerprints at this point, I don't care. I mean, it looks identical. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if this bevel actually is needed, unfortunately. I think that's kind of where, I think the bevel's needed because that's where the seal kind of sits against, is kind of the bevel. So without the bevel, unfortunately, damn it, I'm not sure it's gonna work. Which kind of explains some of the size discrepancies I was getting, because when I measured it, can't remember exactly what those were, but basically the OEM crystal measured larger than I was measuring here, which I didn't quite understand why, but now I get it, because the crystal measures, you know, at the widest part, and I was measuring kind of where the bevel goes, kind of the inside diameter. So I measured at the very tip of the ring, which makes sense now why it's smaller, just to accommodate that bevel. Yeah, with that seal in there, it's not gonna work. So we're going to maybe remove it and just to confirm my suspicion, see how it fits without it. Yep, just like I thought, without the rubber gasket, it seats perfectly. So this gasket is the issue. So what do we do now? Do we just go without the gasket? I mean, either way, I think it's no longer waterproof, so I'm not really concerned. Let's just see what happens here. Put it in like this. I doubt it'll work, but yeah, that's the issue, is that gasket. That's what that bevel's for, to kind of accommodate the gasket. Without it, it's going to be metal and glass, and I don't know. Obviously, it's not going to be waterproof at all. But is it really waterproof even if I leave the gasket in there, since I already kind of taken it apart? I don't know. Alright, I think we're just going to go without the seal. It's just not going to happen. You know, I'm going to lose the waterproofing, but I really don't care at this point, because just over it. I'm going to put some seal inside, grease inside where the gasket would have been as a way to kind of help, but not going to stress about it anymore. There we go. So this is as good as it's going to get. Now I can't figure out why this is not going in evenly. I'm telling you, this is like the biggest pain in the ass. See how it sticks out here, but more flush here. We are back. So some hot water and dish soap kind of got this thing cleaned up pretty well. Gonna just do a couple of quick touch-ups now with some rubbing alcohol to get some of the streaks out. And we're gonna start assembly. So this is a sapphire crystal. I'm sure if I was using another mineral crystal, I would have cracked it again. It's so fragile. And just one quick spray. Try and do this like final touch up. You gotta really have a clean microfiber because it's gonna, littlest things are gonna leave some residue behind. So it's gonna be. Okay, I think this is as good as we're gonna get it. Okay. After that unexpected, I did not think it was gonna be that hard. Hopefully from here it's a little easier. Okay, this is another kind of gasket that goes on here. So now we're gonna put in the chapter ring. That's the bezel. The chapter ring actually does not have an orientation, so it kind of makes you don't have to worry about kind of what direction it's in. It just kind of sits like that. Actually, so this bezel actually is a compression fit as well. So I think this really is just the most frustrating watch I've ever worked on, I gotta say. I so regret even attempting this. I did not think it was gonna be such a pain in the ass. This is like the ultimate. Why does it do that? Why is this not going in? Why must you be such a pain in the... Oh, I think I know why. Back to the crystal we go. So this thing, the black ring needs to be flush. And it's protruding. I bet you that's what's screwing it up. Alright guys, after a lot of cursing off camera and playing with it, I finally got it done, and you know, it looks pretty good. So in the end, you know, I didn't use the crystal gasket. It just wouldn't unfortunately fit, and like I mentioned before, I actually got this watch for $100. I thought it was a really good deal. So to pay 40 for the OEM crystal just didn't quite seem worth it for me. So I got the sapphire for $10, and in the end it works. Obviously this watch is far from waterproof because it's missing the gasket, but that's fine. I don't intend on really doing anything with this watch that would put it in harm's way with water. But overall, it came out good. So it's got, the crystal looks much nicer now. The old one was pretty scratched up. It wasn't too scratched up, but I mean, in hindsight, if I know what a pain in the ass this would have been, I would have just left it because it wasn't that scuffed up. I just thought it would be a quick, easy project to pop out the old crystal, and then I was going to actually just take like a Dremel with some poly watch and just kind of buff it out as much as I can. But I cracked it in the process, so that opened up a can of worms. But otherwise, yeah, I'm happy with it. It was a little frustrating, but the crystal's much, clean now. Should keep scratches off. The only thing is when I put this back together, this bezel now is pretty much stuck. I mean, if I really grip it hard and turn it, it'll turn, but not sure why it got stiffer now. But yeah, so just wanted to show you guys a final result. A lot harder than I thought, but in the end I guess it's worth it because now it does look much better. So like I said, this is really, I don't know, for $100 this is a nice piece of Seiko vintage history. I believe this one is I thought it was 1979. I thought I'll have to double check the serial number again, but here's kind of looks like. But let's do the traditional wrist roll.